Hi, seventh grade. Today is Thursday, and today we are going to start talking about our newest civilization. So, we talked about medieval Europe and Europe, we talked about Islam in the Middle East, we also talked about the elections, and now we're going to talk about this unit, and it involves a group of people known as the Aztecs. Now, the Aztecs did not call themselves Aztecs. They most likely call themselves Mexica. Okay, when I refer to Aztec and Mexica, I'm talking about the same group of people. Okay, and there's a reason why they're both. There's a reason why they both have a name. There's a reason why where the term Mexica comes from, and also Aztec. Okay, so let's start with a little background. So, in most civilizations, there's always a sort of mythology associated or a story, and usually this story is made up, right? In Rome, the two twins that founded Rome are supposed to have been saved by a she wolf who fed them and whatever. There's some mythology, right? Like a story that is created. Now, for the Aztecs, it is said that the Aztecs came from this area known as Aztlan, and we don't know if Aztlan is real, right? The point is that this is part of the history of the Aztecs, that they were wandering around, and people think that this might be Aztlan, what you see in red here, which includes California, that the Aztecs were wanderers, they were wandering around Aztlan, and they were eventually talked to by the god of war, their god of war, Huitzilopochtli. Try saying that one a couple times. So the Aztecs or the Mexica, again, remember the Aztecs and Mexica are the same people in this sense. So the Aztecs were wandering around here, and I'm just giving you like a bridge version of the story. There's a lot to it, but I'm giving you the shorter version. And the Mexica god, the Aztec god, gave them a instructions, and the instruction according to the mythology is wander, wander around, walk around until you see a symbol, and the symbol is very important. The symbol is this. Now, if you're Mexican, or if you're from Mexico, you probably recognize this. This is in the middle of the Mexican flag. So according to this story, the god Huitzilopochtli told the Aztecs, the Mexica, when you see this, when you see an eagle standing on a piece of cactus, on a cactus plant, with a snake on its mouth, that is a sign that that is the spot where you will settle and where you will develop your civilization. Okay? So again, Aslan is a region, we don't know if it's real, where the Aztecs were originally from. So let's make some notes on that. So area where Aztecs are said to be from. Again, when I say Aztecs, I'm going to also write Mexica here. The Aztecs are said to be from. And again, we don't know if this is a real place, but people think that it's like the western part of the United States. Okay, the Mexica are the people. It's a tribe. Also known as the Aztecs. If you see the word Mexica here, this is where the term Mexico comes from. Mexico, okay? The term Aztec is a pretty recent term. It's a term given by historians to the people of Aztlan, even though we don't know if Aztlan is real. So that's where the term comes from. The Aztecs is a term given recently. The Aztecs do not call themselves Aztecs. It's a term given by people to the people of Aztlan. Okay, so Aztlan is a place. It's supposed to be this. We don't really know. And the Aztecs were told by their god, Huitzilopochtli to wander, and wherever they see this eagle perched on a cactus, that's where they will settle. And that ended up being in this area. Okay, that's and we'll talk about what the area is called. There's a lake there. They built their capital city there, and so forth. So those are the Aztecs. The next word that I want you guys to look at. There's a lot here. Aztec is a term. Sorry. That describes the people of Aztlan. Again, Aztlan is that region. The Aztecs is a term that describes the people of Aztlan. An Aztec is Mexica. Again, Aztec and Mexica are the same people. Okay? So we have Aztlan, Mexica, and Aztec out of the way. And then we have Huitzilopochtli. This is the god of war who instructed the Mexica to look for a sign, to settle there. Okay, to settle there. The Aztecs were polytheistic. Remember, monotheistic is believing in one god. Aztecs are polytheistic. They believe in many gods, and this one is one of the big ones. Okay, that's this guy right here, Huitzilopochtli. Very fancy. This is a map of, you might be able to recognize. So this is like California is up here. We don't know again if this is Aztlan, but according to legend, it might have been here. Or Aztlan is not a place at all. But the point is that the Aztecs eventually settled in central Mexico. Okay, central Mexico. And here's a symbol, right? Wherever you see the eagle eating a snake, perched on a cactus, that's where you'll settle, according to the legend. And this is an important legend because it's on the Mexican flag. Okay, I'm gonna do a little bit of reading with you guys. Legend has it that a long time ago, there was a group of people from Aztlan wandering around Central America. So a long time ago, this is in the 1300s. Sorry, I didn't tell you guys that. 1300s. So about 200 years before Columbus. These people had no home, so they were nomadic. Again, nomadic means they're wandering from place to place. They travel from one place to another, hoping to find a good place to settle down. They had no idea where they should turn next. They only knew that their most divine God had promised them land and had given them a clue where to find it. So they're, again, the god of war. One day they arrive at the shores of Lake Texcoco. So this one's going to be really important that you know this place. You will need to know Lake Texcoco. It is in this lake where the Aztecs developed their civilization. Lake Texcoco is really, really important that you know that. You know how in Islam you needed to know the Kaaba. In medieval Europe, you needed to know like what a vassal was. There's words in each unit that you need to know. I'm not saying Lake Texcoco is a god. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying it's a really important word. So Lake Texcoco is where the Aztecs developed their civilization. In the middle of this lake, they saw an eagle, according to the legend. They saw an eagle eating a snake while perching on a cactus. This image is now the coat of arms and the Mexican flag. If you're interested, look up the Mexican flag and see what it looks like. Upon seeing that, they recognized that this was the clue that they had been searching for. Right then and there, they put their things down and stopped their wandering. They laid the foundation and began building a city. This city is also another word you're going to have to know. The name of the city is Tenochtitlan. It's named after one of their kings, their king Tenoch. And then you got the Titlan to it. And this city became one of like the most amazing cities in the world. Today it is modern day Mexico City. It does not look like anything the Aztecs built, because we'll talk about that why eventually. So Tenochtitlan became their capital city. From there, they went on to establish a formidable empire, great empire, and created a wonderful culture. Their empire lasted for almost 300 years, and their culture left a deep influence in the region, which is still clear today. Uh, I'm gonna read this too. Do you know who these people were? They were the Aztecs or the Mexica. Again, Aztecs and Mexica are the same people. The Aztecs had a mysterious past, an unknown past. Though they claim that they came from Aztlan, again, Aztlan makes another appearance, sorry. Again, Aztlan is this region, we don't really know where it is. We did not know where that place was. Many thought it was the north or northwest Mexico. And we have no idea what prompted them to leave their homeland in the turn of the 12th century, the 1300s. In their search for a new home, did they actually see an eagle devouring a snake while perching on the top of a cactus? What do you guys think? Do you believe this story? I might ask you a question about that. Do you think that is true, or do you think that people just made this up over time to make the Aztecs seem kind of like the chosen ones by God? Perhaps, but we cannot say for sure. The truth is that we know almost nothing about the Aztecs and their early history. We only know that they settled nearby Lake Texcoco around 1250, and they founded their city, Tenochtitlan, in 1325. They spoke Nahuatl. Nahuatl is a really important language. That's a language. So again, I hope you guys understand what these words are. So Aztlan, Mexica, Aztec, and Huitzilopochtli. Okay, I'm gonna show you guys a short video because that's how I roll.
We're here at the Templo Mayor, the main temple of the Aztecs, which is in present-day Mexico City. This was the heart, the most sacred place in the Aztec Empire. But they didn't call themselves Aztecs.
So this is a temple in modern-day Mexico City. Again, don't worry yourself too much about the city, Mexico City, because that's a completely different... It's the location of the old Aztec capital, but it looks completely different.
Called themselves the Mexica, or more accurately, the Tenochca Mexica.
And they called the city Tenochtitlan.
That basically means the place of the prickly pear cactus. The name Aztec is something that was given to them later in the 19th century, and the Mexica or the Aztec belonged to a much larger ethnic group called the Nahua, who spoke Nahuatl.
And they founded their capital city here because of a vision that they saw at the end of a very long period of traveling.
One of the most important myths for the Aztecs was this migration myth, where they left their mythic homeland of Aztlan from a place called Chicomostac, or the place of the seven caves. And the ancestors begin this migration because their patron deity, Huitzilopochtli, told them to go on this migration and to behold the sign and to establish a city there.
And the sign that they saw at the end of their journey was an eagle perched on a cactus that was growing out of a rock
in the middle of a lake, and that lake is here in central Mexico, and in fact, modern-day Mexico City is on top of that lake.
The city of Tenochtitlan is founded in 1325, and the city is a planned city. The Spanish who conquered it 2 centuries later were awed by the incredible planning. They saw canals, they saw 4 major causeways going through the city.
So here they're talking about the city. Again, I don't want you to concern yourself too much about it, because we are going to talk about it. And what did the city look like? How did they build it? What are these lines coming out of it? The big idea is to understand who the Aztecs are, that they are the same as the Mexica, that they come, according to the legend, they come from Aztlan, and that's where the term Aztec comes from. The term Mexico comes from the term Mexica, and that they settled in this region because according to the legend, their god, their deity, one of their more important gods, told them to settle in a place where they saw the cactus, an eagle on a cactus with a snake on his mouth.
Meeting at the center point of this temple where we are now.
The city was all laid out on a very careful grid plan.
So I'm going to stop here. Do me a huge favor. When I ask you guys to do a question on Edpuzzle, some of us are doing some of us are not even doing the bare minimum. Some of us are doing one word answers, or we are not understanding the question. For example, on the migration of people from the old to the new world, I asked you guys why did they come, and some students gave me a date, another student just gave me a word, and that is not acceptable. We are an amazing school, and you are amazing students, and I expect better from all of you. So please do the best you can.